Hello everybody, my name's Hal and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at the new Grim Forest. Now, this is the most important thing to me right now besides the actual gear set itself. So we're going to start with this and then we're going to kind of talk about the gear set. Now, anything I say about the gear set, take it with a grain of salt because quite frankly, I'm not sure how it works. Nobody is at the moment. The wording is very iffy. Right now, it seems like the most broken set to ever touch the game ever. It will completely overrun PvP. Nothing does anything to it essentially unless you hit it and you do nothing. It's weird. I'd rather not focus on that. I think that'll be addressed by other people, people with more information than me. But the big thing I want to focus on is this right here. So we have the normal mode and the hard mode of Grim Forest. So the biggest thing that I see is, well, for normal, you need 20 champions, and on hard mode, you need 40. That's a lot of champions, guys. That is a lot of champions. That is no little amount. And if it's like any other game I've ever played, all of them need to be built. All of them need to be geared before you hop into Grim Forest, and you can't change your gear while you're in there if it's like other games. Now, don't quote me. I don't know for sure if these are um if these are specifically like these builds are going to be permanent as soon as you lock in. I'm not sure about that. In other games, that is how it works. But if we read this, before you venture into the Grim Forest, you must fill 2 decks with your best champions to create a squad. Every battle in this game mode will begin by drawing random champions from these decks. You can only build your team to take on a specific stage from their number. So that's very interesting to me. It's going to be, I assume, kind of like a shuffling animation. It'll draw 4 or 5 champions, however many you're allowed to have. And then from there, you're going to be able to just, pick what you want, really. Well, not pick what you want, but you have to have good enough champions in each squad uh, that'll be able to take on anything, regardless of, if you got from this roster, if they got, Countess Elix, Drang, um, what is this guy's name? Uh, the clown dude, and then Rosnan, you would lose essentially. But if you were to get lucky and get Marichka, Carnage, Duchess, Trunda, and Yumiko, you win. Like you gotta have a very solid roster for this game mode. And from what I could see, and from every little thing that Raid has put out, it seems like you're actually going to be able um, you're going to be able to take on as much of the content as you want at a time because it said you could speed run it and whatever else. I don't know if that was only talking about bosses or other things, but there's a few things. Just check Discord for the announcements. You can see what I mean. So if I did misunderstand that, it happens. And we'll get an actual full announcement of what the game mode is going to be and everything it entails very soon. But the biggest thing I want to do, and this video is probably going to be a little bit longer, is go in and check my roster to see if I can even bother trying this content. Now, I believe this is when a lot of people are going to be diving into their epics. They're going to be diving into their dupes. Now, I didn't see anything saying that you can't have duplicates between the two teams. I could be wrong about that. Nope, nope, here it is. We got a Trunda here and a Trunda here. So, that means dupes are going to be incredibly valuable. Now, for me, I think we're going to go ahead and separate this with our little ping things here, our little, what are these called? Champion tags. So I'm going to do one that is Arena Build 1, one that is Arena Build 2, and that will kind of show you guys what I'm thinking for my different teams. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to pause the recording for the time being. I'm going to unmark everybody, and then we're going to start marking them as we go. I'm going to unmark everybody because I already have, like Arena Champions and whatever else marked. So we'll be right back. Alrighty, so we've gone ahead and taken off all of our tags on our arena champions. And one of the things I do want to mention, and one of the things that is really going to help me decide what I want to do, is your big nukers, like your Onryos, your Cheshire Cats, your Carnages, the ones that can basically just solo. You don't forget that you need to kind of put them on different teams, because if you, let's say I draw an Embrys, well, I basically win. But if I draw a Yakarl, it's not a guaranteed win unless I have like another nuker. We'll get more into that, but I do just want to mention that you don't forget to spread out your nukers when we really get into this content because it'll be incredibly important. But let's get further into it. Let's pick our teams. Let's really take a look at what I have, what my roster's looking like. I think this will be a really fun video. So first of all, let's just start by clicking our legendaries and mythics and seeing what I have. I have a little bit of a roster here, nothing too insane, but definitely enough where I believe I'll be able to get some content done. Something I'm wondering is, with the set, one of the biggest ways to counter the set is by locking out. Does that mean Fabian, Warlord, Yumiko, are those champions going to be incredibly important in the forest, especially for a certain boss? That's a big thing I'm wondering, and something that I'm probably going to factor in when building these teams. But let's go ahead. So team 1 is going to get an Ashnar. Team 2 is also going to get an Ashnar. Ashnar, incredibly strong, incredibly important, does so much for the team, damage, support, turn meter, literally everything. I did a mythic tier list. The video didn't turn out well. It's safe to say Ashnar was in my top 5. He was in the S+. I think he is genuinely one of the best champions in the game. I think he's a top 5 champion in all of Raid. Now, if you disagree with me, it is what it is, but if you hear me out, I think you can see what I mean. He has healing, turn meter, more turn meter. He scales, HP burn, weaken, can't be countered by supersonic, has tied for some of the best base speed in the, well, not bait. I don't think he is tied for the best. I was right. So tied for the best base speed in all of Raid. He has an AoE provoke, increase crit damage, increase defense on the entire team, debuff spread on everybody, and increasing the duration, incredible amounts of damage, an A1 that can be one of the hardest hitting in the game, and then a passive that is just incredible. So this champion, we have 2 of them. We're going to use both of them. No, absolutely no questions about that. Now, one of the big things that I have to think about is my revivers. How many revivers do you want per team? I think it's only fair that we put a Duchess on each team. I think she is still one of the strongest revivers in the game and belongs in at least one in each team. Now, what are some of the other big revivers that we're thinking about? There's Uko. There is Raglan, there is Pythion, there's all the mythics that revive, there's Arbiters, all of these different champions, but you really have to know how to space them out, and you can't count out your epics. Champions like Ursala are actually going to end up in at least one of my teams for sure. She's an incredible champion, she brings a lot for the team, revive, increase defense, strengthen, increase attack, decrease attack, turn meter control. Amazing champion there. Champions like Miscreated. We'll get more into it. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's really start thinking. So there's champions that I'm thinking about, kind of like Venus and Cupidus. But one of the biggest things is, what if I only draw Cupidus and then I'm stuck with a pretty mid-tier nuker? And then, the times I draw Venus and she's incredible all the way around. And I'm thinking maybe we leave out the those champions, the duo champions, the faction guardian champions. I don't think that they are the most ideal for this content, because you have to get lucky to draw some unless you have a lot of a faction in one of your teams. I don't think it is the best move to go ahead and do that. So we're really going to go ahead and focus, I think, Fabian, one on each team. I'm going to have to go and max my second Fabian. But I think he'll be worth it. Brings an incredible amount of control. Fantastic champion there. And then we also have Armans. Armans is another one where I think one per team for sure. Actually, I've been putting like the stronger champion on team on one. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that one on number 2 and this one on number 1. Now I don't think I'm actually going to copy and paste this. I think I'll actually like go through, make sure the builds are balanced per team. But yeah, just for an idea, you know. Now we have plenty of control. Actually, let's go ahead and check what we have so far. So in here we have dupes. We have the exact same thing in both teams. Oh, she's in here. Let's get her out of there. Okay. So yeah, we have 2 Ashnars, 2 Oromons, 2 Fabian, 2 Duchess. That is 8 champions. That is 1/5 of what we need. Now, another big champion, of course, is going to be Marius. He needs to go on one of the teams, and he's one of my big nukers. That's one of the big ones where it's like, if I don't have him, I'm kind of screwed. So he's going on team 1. And then my next nuker like that is Onryo. I'm going to put him on team 2. Onryo can solo entire waves of anything in PvE with this A1, so it only makes sense to put him in one of the teams as kind of like a solo nuker. The next one is going to be Ambreeze. Ambreeze is going to go in team 2, absolutely incredible, can solo most wave content in the game, and then after him is going to go Carnage. Carnage is another one of those, you know, free-to-play champions, incredibly strong, helps carry in all of wave content. Now, the next thing we're really going to need is, I would say, Mikage can be incredible. She has this ally attack, she has a buff extension, she has this ally attack A1. Um, Truly just an amazing champ. So Mikage for sure going in the team. Like I said, just brings so much control, ally attacks, buff strips, weakens, increase attacks, increase accuracies, turn meter decrease. I mean, Mikage, incredible champion. I think she's probably going to go to team 1, because we have been putting some pretty solid ones in team 2. Now, we need another control champion. I think that's the best way to do it. You want to balance out each team with somewhat similar champions. I think that is overall the best way to tackle this content, is to just make sure things are even, so it doesn't really matter which deck you have, you're going to have a pretty equal shot at doing good. So what is a really good control champion that I have? We've already looked at a lot of them, but I think Commodus actually comes in as an amazing control champion with his first form, and then a second form, of course, is going to bring us damage. So I think throwing him in there, pretty solid choice. Now, the next champions that I want to look at are my speed champions, my Arbiter and my Lysandra. I think we got to have one in each. Lysandra being my fastest champion, she just comes in, she does so much control. I need to finish booking her, actually, didn't realize that. And then my Arbiter as well, control, revives, very strong champ. And now, I just want to take a little refresher, we are on 8 on each. So then, what else do we need? We need a lot more nukers on the teams for sure. Leonardo for sure going on a team. Thor going on a team. Trunda definitely has a very likely chance of being one of the stronger nukers for this, because she does have a stun. She does incredible amounts of damage. She scales. This A2's insane. So I think Trunda will end up in most people's teams if they have her. You know, Wukong, another big one, another really important nuker for people that they may forget that they have, especially some of the bigger accounts out there. Wukong is still incredible, still very important. A really big one is Alice. Alice can come in and be incredibly strong. She has the lockout, she has a really good damage, great multipliers. Someone that people aren't using much right now, but someone I think is very valuable. So we're going to put her in a team for sure. Let's put her in team 2, actually. And then we need to find another team 1 nuker. Razelvarg is someone I'm for sure thinking. He-Man, Foley, Varl. Let's go Razelvarg. Razelvarg is definitely one of the stronger ones out there. A really big one that people might also forget about is Quintus. This guy's great in PvE, guys. This A1 is insane. He's great at cycling through all of his abilities, a very strong champion. I think he's definitely going in one of my teams. Another pretty solid nuker is definitely going to be Krokad. Krokad, even without Shayek, he is still a great nuker. For just wave content, he will just slam through it. You won't have any issues using him. And then Cheshire, one of the best nukers in the game, easily going into a team, not even a question. Hefrak, as long as you have a decreased defense champion out there, he can completely lay out waves without a problem. So we're going to throw him in a team. Raglan, great reviver. One of the better revivers in the game now. So she's going to go, I'm going to put her in team 2. And with that said, I'm going to go and grab my Ursala and put her in team 1. Now that we're in the epics, there's a few that really stand out. There, of course, Ursala, miscreated for sure, going in one of the teams. Seer going in one of the teams. And then there's some other ones that could, but I don't think they quite work for me. I think the biggest standouts, like, Seeker actually. Seeker could go in a team. What are our... We got 15 and 15. Okay, so we have pretty even. Let's throw this in team 2. We're also going to throw her in team 2 as well. Mod being incredibly strong. Venus going team 1. Python going team 1. Uko, one that I mentioned, great for control in a stun set, amazing reviver. He's going to go ahead and go into team 1. And Korra going in team 2 alongside Narcisse, because if we are able to pull them together, they're incredible individually, but if we do get lucky and get them together, absolutely an incredible duo, of course. Togron going to go into team 2, I believe, that's where my Commodus is, right? I would like to put him with, yeah, we have Embry's, Commodus. Yeah, okay. So Togron belongs in team 2 for sure. Now we need one for team 1. Who is that going to be? Necmo. Necmo is a champion I wasn't even thinking about, but the amount of control this guy brings is incredible. And then we have Lamasu. We're going to put her in team 1. Insensa, team 2. Cardiel, team 1. Then we need, I'd say Tormund will probably end up being very strong. We'll put him in team 2. Who else do we need? Or actually, I guess we should take a little refresher. Where are we? 21 and 22. Okay, we've actually overshot. We only needed 40 champions. So we can take 1 out of this team and 2 out of this team. Let's see, who are our weakest links? In this team, it's probably going to be Quintus. Yeah, I'll just say Quintus. Everybody else belongs. Everybody else has multiple functionalities. A lot of control, a lot of damage, a lot of supports, debuffs, everything we need. Now this team, we have shot over by 2. Who is worth getting rid of? Who's worth keeping? We have plenty of nuking. We have we have a decent amount of control. I think our epics actually stay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of Hefrak, and then who's our weakest link throughout these champions? I mean, there really isn't a weak link in any of this. I mean, maybe Narcisse, but I think he brings a lot. Like, he's still locking out this A1. He has that incredible double hit on this A2. If they have shields or strengthen or anything. Tormund maybe? Or maybe it's Miscreated, but Miscreated doing a lot for the team though. I think Miscreated stays. We have a lot of... Okay, we're gonna drop Seeker. We have pretty much everything else we need. Alright guys, so these are the 2 decks that I've come up with. 40 champions that are all, I'd say, pretty balanced teams. Let's go ahead and double check. Let's go through them. Control, damage, support, turn meter, control, everything we need. Carnage, control, damage, debuffs, a whole lot of what we need. Block, self-sustain, control, and ally attacking. Just so much control with her. A lot of damage and control from Marius. He's one of the ace champions essentially. He's our trump card. If we get him, we win. Arbiter, of course, speed, and then reviving, increase attack. Duchess is Duchess. Leonardo, control, well, kind of helping the team, doing a lot of damage. Razelvarg, damage, speed control, and leech. Trunda, control and damage. Armons, control. Necmo, control. Lamasu, control and some resetting. Cardiel, healing, debuff cleansing, ally attacking, reviving. Venus could be a good. She actually does a crap ton of damage, and she has really good multipliers, so she could be a damage dealer. But she's an incredible debuffer. Pythion coming in as one of our best supports. Uko, a great reviver, and control as well. Buff stripping, block damage, revive. Um, Fabian, some of the most control in the game. Cheshire, one of the best nukers. Seer, you know, I don't. I mean, we have so many good buffers. I think Seer stays, because she can still do a lot of damage on this A1. I may have to rebuild her to make sure she has like actually attack and stuff. But I think she belongs. And then Ursula, another great support. We have, how many revivers do we have on this side actually? One, two, three, four, five, six. Six revivers on this team. And on this side we have one, two, three, four. Okay, I mean that's not bad. We have self-revive here, self-revive here, self-revive here. Yeah, okay, that's fine with me. And then really focusing on the second team, an amazing amount of control. He's another trump card. Amazing amount of control, damage, all the good stuff. Solos, bosses, solos, waves. Ashnar being Ashnar, commonest. We're getting a lot of control, a lot of damage. Lysandra, purely control. Unreal, another trump card. Just win if you get him, basically. Armand's, of course, another amazing control champion. Alice, bringing a lockout and a lot of damage. Thor, just pure damage, decreased defense. He does actually have a decreasing turn meter on his A1. Could be very valuable. Wukong, damage, control, all the fun stuff. He's actually going to be... He might be another trump card for most people because of this A2. All the control he brings, self-reviving, truly incredible. And don't forget that UDK is also an option, guys, so you can run UDK and Wukong on the same deck. Togron, amazing amount of support, and then this passive boosting all of our HP nukers. Narcisse, HP nuker, Yensensa, a lot of control. Well, it's not as much control, it's the ally attacking, it's the turn meter boosting, supporting, and then her passive is controlling. So she's just incredible. Tormin bringing damage and control. Hi Mother Mod, bringing healing. She's bringing this like Tuhanarok type passive, a revive, debuff controlling, buff controlling, increased attack, Crocad, damage, weaken, leech, support on Ancora. It's Duchess, we already know what she does. Raglan, being one of the best revivers in the game at the moment. Miscreated, damage, control, support, and then Fabian, we already know what he does, just a lot of control. So that is my account, guys. That is what I believe I will most likely be using these 40 champions. Yes, there is some overlap. There's some dupes, but there is a benefit to having dupes at times. We can get amazing champions, like Armand's twice or Fabian twice. It's going to be very important to have some great dupes on champions like them. So hopefully seeing what I've done has helped you guys. And I'm sure there's a lot of questions you have of, what if I don't have this champion, this champion, this champion? I'm going to go through each faction, call out a few champions, and then we'll call the video there. The video's been pretty long so far. Joanne, Androck, Kaja, Raglan, of course, Taras, Marichka, Baron, Titus can be incredible, Stultus. So a lot of champions there. Of course, Galathier, Fina can actually be great. She just didn't fit into my teams. Rowanus, if you need, he has this AoE stun, which isn't incredible, but for some of you earlier game guys, he can be great. Bellinor, Supreme Elhain as a nuker can work. Othorion, damage control. Yeah, pretty low on this faction, honestly. Lathanaril can be okay. Siegfried, Polara, they're both going to be good options. But if you have Polara, she's probably not going to be coming in, at least not on her first form. Maybe her second form comes in as a really good control champion. Over here we have, I mean, honestly, maybe, yeah, of course, Alice, He-Man can be great. Maud, Wixwell, Martyr, maybe. Um, Sir Nick can be okay. Constantine can be alright. Lady Noel, amazing. And then, of course, any of the Mythics guys, they're going to be pretty impactful. Like, Nell didn't make it into my teams, but she would be great for a lot of people. She might end up coming into one of my teams eventually. Syl, Opardin can be good for heals. Thor, of course, Armand's, Xena, Alsgore, Gregor, Freya, Esme, Raph, Valkyrie, Archer, uh, Tuhanarok, Odin. We can go down to Ogren. I would say, of course, Gizmak, Biggin, Vizig, Kurgor maybe, Jeroboam maybe, Moto for sure, Tuskor possibly, Blizzard, Stock maybe, Kraus maybe, Gurgo for sure, Grisur for sure, Togron for sure, Bellator for sure, Klazag for sure. And then Lazarius, Dracomorph, Amok maybe, Donnie 100%, Python 100%, Predator 100%, Necmo 100%, Teox, Krisk, Ramontu, Sulfurion, Fighty, Chigor actually. Chigor can be absolutely incredible. He's insane for wave-based content. Skinwalkers, Gallius, Mezimel, Razelvarg, Word Chief can be good for control. Uko, Nishak for some damage. Bullet, Ragash for damage and control. Loriaka for control. Coronar, Tunisia, Leorius are all great. Works, Geralt, and Ashnor come in as great options. Crowcad, Artak, and a stun set can be good for some of your earlier game guys. Shayak, he's okay, not great, but if you are able to pull him with Crowcad, can be amazing. Aragaz, very strong. Nodgar could actually possibly come in for that HP swap to help do some damage. Varl, Warlord, Raka, and Galliot, or Gaelit, Supreme Gaelic, Demon Spawn, all the Mythics, Kaimar, Countless, Hefrak, Drexlar, Sissia, Volcanos, Wither, Mortu, Duchess, Helicath, Cheshire, Gracchus, Kertraxa, Enithwi, Masu, Chauko, all worth using. All the Mythics, of course. Rhodos, Morgaine, possibly Bad L, and like a stun set, UDK, Maria, Mashaled, Nethrol, Hercules, Heraclites, however you say that name, Fabian, Sifi, Necrit, Rust, LMA, Vlad, Vulcanin, Gaspard, all pretty solid. Aphidus, maybe Ray, possibly Foley. Xenomorph is probably going to come in for a lot of people. I mean, Eva, Ghostborn, Blinds here for sure. Lydia, Vizix, Mithral, Tremaria, Supreme Kale, and Blade Master could all be great. Revenants, of course, the Mythics, and then what are we looking at here? Eric's actually comes in as a great option, and Korra. Gaiath could be okay. Mother Cybele will be amazing. Coleth, amazing. Hatter, Benalicia, Theodore, Cavalax. Drain could be okay. Blade Master could be okay. Soulless could be pretty alright for damage. Hegemon for some waves could be pretty good. Whirlim, Georgid, Caroline, Narcisse, Queen of Hearts. Honestly, I wouldn't even touch Fiorad, maybe for some control. but his damage isn't good enough to be worth using. Trunder, Trunda, Brogni, Gjafrid, Osgurn, Tholin, Molly, Newt could be really good for control and damage. Black Tusk could be okay. Uzal could be okay. Granite could be great. Tormin, Crazia, Senna, Arnorn. Here we have both of the mythics for sure. Lady Kimi, Neja, Mikage, Tatsuya, Harima. Um, Genzen's alright. Gamarin can be incredible. Karato can actually be pretty good with his block actives. He has a good amount of control alongside some of his damage. Arashi can be a good nuker. Ishiyama, another decent nuker. Riho, amazing support. Jingwan, gonna be absolutely carrying a lot of people. Yumiko, of course. Shujin, Unryo, Leonardo, Shredder. Shredder iffy, but still could be really good. All the mythics. Elva. Yeah. Elva, maybe Kaolite, Yostrid, Glycad, Feral, Lady of Ureth, Padrig, Caldor, Aleel maybe, Balar maybe, Emikin Sensa, and Neve for sure. So there's a lot of legendaries, a lot of mythics. Any of the ones that I named are worth using. There's a lot of good epics as well. Archmage, Stag Knight, or Sala, those are three of the real big ones, and they're all in one faction. Here, I would avoid most of those. I'm just going to go through real quick if there's any epics that stand out to me. Deacon, Godseeker, Cardinal, all incredibly important. Phoenix, incredibly important for some accounts. Nothing here all that big. Hoskril and Fat Man are the biggest ones. No. Oh, Maneater. Maneater, Incredible Skrank, Incredible Ugo, Skullcrusher, Shadowbones, all absolutely carrying there. Nothing here that I would say is too worth using. We went past Skinwalkers, and there's actually a decent shout here, being Heforhes, Frenzy, and Basher. And then I do believe Yuzon. Yeah, Yuzon's another incredible one. And then this guy would also be great too. I don't have him, but Gom, very, very strong champion. Works, Seer, of course. We also have Duke, Tagore, Sandlashed, Vrask might be okay. Zargala, also very strong. Akoff can be pretty good. Achak, Magnor, Allure, Umbral for sure. Umbral's a big carry for a lot of people for sure. Undead, we have Husk, Vogoth, Seeker, and Gorgorab, and Mausoleum Mage could be pretty decent. And if there's a lot of freezing in one of the bosses or something, Dark Elhain can be a good option. Dark Elves, we have Durandil, and we have Madame Saris, as well as Sylar and Luria. Also, while we're here, don't forget about Painkeeper and Coldheart, as well as Reliquary Tender. Great revivers that, great rares that can't be forgotten. Miscreated, I'm actually using him in mine. We saw that. Skullcrown, Sinesha, Doom Priest, Sepulcher can be okay. Rector is going to be great for a lot of you guys. And then in here we have Cornelia, maybe. Fodbar, maybe. Morag, probably. Hilda, probably. Demitha for sure. Geomancer for sure. Shadowkin, not really anything here besides maybe Taragi. That's the only one I would call out. And then with this faction, Creodin, Dithy, Duodon, Pan, Ruella, maybe a little, maybe not so much the Ruella. I know Nia for sure. Thorn, 100%. And then, where is he? Not. Not is an incredible rare. If you do not have one maxed and you need a reviver, max him out, he'll be great. And then Glade Wolf can also be pretty good. AoE provoke. But those are, of course, when we get down to rares, we're really just talking about really early game accounts. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. If you did enjoy the video, consider liking, subscribing. Hopefully I was able to help you guys out. If you're not already in my Discord, you can join through the link in the description or in my channel bio. Both of the links there should be active and working. Sorry for another video of no face cam. Been having some setup issues. Just trying to get out a pretty good video for you today, guys. One that should be very applicable within the next week or so, I assume, is when the update's coming out. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.